Well, right now, let's move on to a conversation. And when you see anything like this, you just know that you've got a combat sport. This is not an oversized table tennis bat, but this is training gear for Taekwondo. And in studio, and starting with the far left, I've got Nesmas Wesonga, team manager Taekwondo Kenya. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wahome.
And next to the team manager is Everlyne Aluoch. She's a welterweight Taekwondoin. That's the correct term. Taekwondoin.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And also middleweight, from the middleweight division in the men's side, we've got Elijah Kimani.
Thank you.
All right. Over the weekend, Taekwondo Kenya, they held trials for 2 events. The World Championships, which will be in Baku, Azerbaijan, and also for the African Games that will be hosted in Ghana in August. So TM, yes. First of all, 106 men over 40 something, basically over, say, about 160 athletes in total. Tell us about the trials and the competition that we had over the weekend at KU.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wahome, for inviting us here for this interview. I really appreciate for the opportunity. Over the weekend, we had our trials for the Kenya Taekwondo national team, and it was very competitive. For the first time, our trials had about 150 participants. It has never happened before. It was quite highly competitive. We had teams coming from all over the country. Mombasa County was represented, Kilifi was represented, Kisumu County was represented, Meru, Nakuru, KDF, Kenya Prisons, and one of the things that came out very clearly in the trials was that we have an abundance of talent, and we have a lot of young people out there who are very enthusiastic to represent our country, and we believe that giving them this platform to prove themselves was a great opportunity for the young people to be able to qualify for the national team, which we were able to select 16 men and 16 women. First, in every weight category, we normally have 8 weight categories, 8 for men, 8 for women. So first in each weight category automatically qualifies to be in the team, and then the number 2s joining in as sparring partners. And of course, in any eventuality of sickness, indiscipline or anything, the number 1 can easily be replaced with somebody who's already in the camp. Yeah.
All right, and taking a look at this, we know that Sharon, one of the practitioners of Taekwondo, is out in Germany. Then in her case, because she has an Olympic scholarship, and it's all about Olympic qualification, how, in her case, then how do you manage that? Because her weight division definitely was filled at these trials.
Yes, beautiful. First and foremost it has been, I would like to mention that Sharon Waweli became the first Kenyan Taekwondoin to be selected for the Olympic scholarship. It is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you are given a living stipend, training, traveling expenses, and education, all in one package by the Olympic movement, the solidarity movement. So Sharon went to Germany last year, and she's preparing for the Olympic qualifiers, which will determine if she'll continue to be in the camp or not. If she qualifies, then she continues up to the Olympic, the Olympic Games. Now, for Sharon's case, of course, by the virtue that she qualified to be in the Olympics camp, that automatically puts her as the number 1 in her weight category, which is flyweight. However, during this selection, we had 2 flyweights who got into that position. So automatically that means that we have 3 people. There is Sharon, who is the favorite in that sport. So unless there's something else going on that will prevent her from representing the country, automatically she becomes the number 1 choice. Then the one who was selected during this the championship will become her number 2. And then, of course, there's the third one who was number 2. This is just a standby case. But Sharon has the favorite spot for that. Yes.
All right, just to make it easier for the viewers, the flyweight in terms of kilos now, because that's how people would know.
Yes. Our flyweight for ladies in terms of kilos is under 59 kgs. Yes. 49, sorry, under 49
Under
kgs.
49 kgs.
Yes, yes.
So that would mean that Cynthia Wekesa at the moment is second.
Yes.
When it comes to that.
Yes.
All right, let me come to Evelyn. Habari asubuhi.
Salama sana.
Uko mzima kabisa?
Nashukuru.
Safi. Now, tell us about, there were just 43 women basically taking part in that. But here you are as a middleweight, already qualified and topped your division. Tell us, basically about your division and the competition that you have got for you in this country.
Okay, thank you very much. As you mentioned, I'm Everlyne Aluoch. During the last trials, I managed to defend my weight category, that is minus 73 kgs women, middleweight. It's the weight I've been playing since I entered the national team back in 2019. And in the same category, unlike previously, I could say that this time round, the competition was a little bit there. It was visible in the games, because most of the times we find that you get yourselves 2 or just 1 in that category. So you have to be merged with the most immediate weight category. But for the first time, we were playing around 4 or 6 in a weight. For the ladies team, that was so marvelous. Then moving to outside the country, it's the weight I've also played. And I can say not once, but twice or thrice I've excelled in the weight. And in African arena, I've managed 3 bronze medals since 2019 to this far. So I just hope and believe that moving forward, within the weight, I'll still manage to bring in some good things. And the focus is, of course, Olympics 2024.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn. Now, let's come on to Elijah. 106 men in total, but here you are, having gone through, picking up, the top slots in your weight division. Just tell us about the competition that was there.
Thank you so much for having me. So grateful. The competition on Saturday in KU. It was a good one. It was a tough one. Very engaging. So many players, and just a clarification, there are more players than the ones that participated, but it was actually like the best of the best, those who qualify to come and compete. There are certain qualifications that one must have to compete for the selection, national team selection. Like you have to be...
Take us through them, by the way.
Oh,
the entire list.
Yeah, just the basics only. You need, first of all, need to be a black belt. Be able to hold you possess a dance certificate from the national team national team federation.
Dance certificate.
Dance certificate.
What a dance certificate is?
A dance certificate is a global ship black belt verification that you're actually a black belt or renowned all over the world. Yeah, it's a dance certificate. You certified that you're actually a black belt, and there are 9 from 1st dan to 9th dan. Yeah, and so it was black belts competing. It was not just 1 or 6 men that they're black belts. So it was a tough competition. So many people showed up, but I can say we were prepared. Give thanks to our committee, our federation, because they had informed us early, actually last year. They had informed us of the dates and the time. So people had even time during the holidays to prepare for the game. And as players, it's one of these are one funny game that we are opponents, but we are still very friends. So we were still communicating with your opponents and keeping
found each other.
Just reminding them, una train. Yeah, you need me at a train. So if you go sleep and you will actually you'll actually risk losing your position in the national team. So, and also the national team federation has kept it continuous. These selections, they are all each and every time, so that mtu asifikiria ati I'm the champion in Kenya, so I'm just
like they say in football, hii number ni yangu.
In Taekwondo there's no number, so if you sleep, make sure you're dreaming big. Yeah, because if you keep on sleeping and sleep, kuna mwingine atakuja kupite. Yeah, and you don't want that.
All right. Yeah. Now, let me come to you, Nesmas, because Elijah has mentioned something, and this is all about the classification. How when you start Taekwondo, you start obviously with the white belt and moving up. What's the progression way, and how do you keep, checking these athletes such that you move from such that by the time you're a black belt, then that progression is known?
Okay. Taekwondo has a very systematic way of progression, where, as you have mentioned, you seem to be very versed in Taekwondo. You start with a white belt. You've done your research well. Good. And then, of course, from there we have got different belts in between there. You move on to yellow belt. Yellow belt has got levels in yellow belt. We call it 8th cube and 7th cube. However, that is the Korean system, but in Kenya we are more adapting the American system, because you find that when you're training, especially the athletes, they want to see that change in belt and color. So when you just give them, you just change the certification, but they don't see the changes in the belt color, they don't feel like they have progressed. So the Americans came up with different colors. So the yellow belt, which has 2 levels, the Korean system, the American system is yellow and orange. And then from there, you go to blue belt. The Korean system has 4 levels, 3 levels in blue belt, 6th Q, 5th Q, and 4th Q. But the American system, we use green, purple, and blue to differentiate the belts.
Yes.
And then from there, you go to red belt. Red belt has got 2 levels. That is 3rd and 2nd. 3 levels: 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So there now we differentiate the Korean system. You'll have just the red belt, but the American system, we use the brown belt and the red belt, and then from there become a national black belt first. You have to be examined nationally. You get a national black belt, and then from there now you start your certification at the international level, certified by Kukiwon, which is our headquarters in charge of technical matters in the world. It is based in Seoul, Korea. So starting from there now, the international journey certificate, the dance now, the journey begins there. These are, again, there are 9 levels. So you start with 1st dan, 2nd dan, 3rd dan. When you are 3rd dan, you become an assistant master. An assistant master is an equivalent of having a master's degree, but an assistant. Then the 4th dan become a master. That is now a full degree in the conventional education system. But in Taekwondo, then is a 4th dan. Then you move to 5th dan, 6th dan. At 6th dan, that's doing a PhD in Taekwondo. So you have to do a thesis, submit it in Kukiwon, examined, pass the thesis for you to be able to grade. And you have to go physically to Kukiwon for that, for your certification for the 6th dan. Then of course 7th, 8th, and 9th dan. 9th dan is a very special belt that is given to people who have done exceptional service in Taekwondo. So in Kenya so far, the highest grade is 6th dan. The people with the highest level is 6th dan. That is Grandmaster Olayo, former national team coach. And yeah, those are the levels.
Now you've mentioned this about being examined, and we very well know this is a combat sport. It's a martial art. So what's this examination procedure?
Okay, the examination procedure consists of various aspects. One of them is kyugi, which is what is well versed with the public, the fighting part. But it's not only the fighting part. Actually, the fighting part starts being examined from blue belt. We have got something we call taiguks and pumzes. These are forms which commonly karate, they call it kata. People are more versed with the kata. These are patterns that are for mental training, that you cram a certain pattern that you need to follow systematically. Now, this pattern is standard internationally. So for you to grade from one level to the other, you need to know certain number of patterns. For example, if you need to move to yellow belt, you need to know Taiguk 1. That is the first pattern. Progressively, until you reach black belt, you need to know all the patterns, which are 8 of them. And then the first international dance certificate, you need to know a pattern called choreo, pumze. Now that's the pumze start. Taiguks are for color belt, then pumzes are for black belt.
Black belt.
Yes, and then of course, apart from that, there's something we call honsul. Honsul, these are self-defense techniques. Each category has certain self-defense techniques you're supposed to know for you to be able to be graded to the next level. And then of course there's what we call now just the basic motions of chagis, jirigis, chagis are kicks, punches, we call them jirugi, we call it syogis, these are stances. All these things, these are now just the basics that you need to know combined. So with every level, there are different kinds of basics that you are supposed to know. So basically that's the criteria. And of course there's the theory. There's the theoretical part that you need to know.
All right, now, the punches, Evelyn. I know you've come with these training pads. So, Elijah.
Yes.
So not necessarily, you don't have to use stand, but you could just, just use that and give a little bit of a demonstration about the punches that TM has mentioned here. So Evelyn, so you're free to turn and do that.
Okay, so we do punching, and to score with a punch, we say the punch must be a straight punch that lands on the solar plexus here.
Right here.
Yes.
Which is why when you put on that the chest guard, it has a target.
Yes.
So ideally, that's where it should land.
Yeah. For it to score.
For it to score.
But if it could land here, that is counted as just a distraction. You just distracted the opponent. But for you to get a score with the punch, let it land on the solar plexus. So it should be a punch not taken from too far, just to the shoulder level.
Okay.
And as you head towards the target, you put in force. So you got to remove it from here, then you come, and as you approach the target, we are supposed to see your hand kind of let it land with the 2 knuckles. So the arm should be straight. So you're gonna come and you just hit her. Then we want to hear that sound again. So you can accompany it with what we call kiap. In Taekwondo language, the sound from the voice. You make the corner judges feel you hit a punch. So you oh, you shout, then the sleeping corner judge will just give you a point. Yeah. Because
Okay. Is that allowed? I mean, so that means if you know that you are loud enough, that's it.
Yes.
Yes. So, but you wouldn't expect a sleeping corner judge when you get to continental level.
oh, they sleep. Then it's the continental.
It can be tiresome for them. Yeah.
They sleep.
So many competitions, maybe distracted, maybe drinking water, or maybe doing something else, or maybe checking out on another court. Maybe another game is going on and it's more fun and interesting. Then you shout, yeah, you need to shout.
Well, that's very, very interesting because we know all about the noises that they make in martial arts, and it's only in boxing where they don't do that when it comes to the combat sport. Now, take us through. You've mentioned about landing this, but when you are when you're in a contest,
yes,
strapped feet, chests protected, and the headgear. Tell us about each of those equipment and how you go around that.
Okay. For the chest guard, we call it the hog. Yeah, it has right now we're using the electronic ones. So they have sensors. The sensor is put at the back. So when you hit, we wear socks, electronic socks that are international and equipped together and linked to the sensor. So when you kick or when you punch. The punch is not recorded because you don't have the sensors of the hand. But when you shout and punch, and it's a straight.
And actually,
punch.
you're not fighting bare knuckle. It's
you can fight bare knuckles. We are Africans. You can also wear the gloves. But for the Africans, we are strong. We can go bare knuckles. Doesn't depend. But
simulated gold is not a bus.
So when you punch, that's a straight punch. That's 1 mark to the trunk. And you're only allowed to punch on the this chest guard. Only the straight. And kicking, roundhouse kick, a straight roundhouse kick, a dorio chagi, that lands correctly on the chest guard. That's 2 points for each and every kick. Now, if it's a straight kick towards the head, the headgear. The headgear also we have the sensor at the top. So if you kick a straight kick, that will be 3 marks. It will automatically record 3 marks. Now, if it's a turning kick, maybe back kick or spin kick, you turn.
Kick. Come, walk a Texas Ranger.
Shaolin monks and zunguka hizo zote kung fu. Everything. But if you kick straight to the trunk, that's 4 marks. Okay, you get automatically 2 marks. The chest it will record 2 marks, and then the referee will have to stop and then add you 2 more points. So if it's a turning kick straight to the head, that's 5 marks. So because it's 3, and then you add it 2. That's how we score. And if you fall, maybe if you fall, the opponent gets 1 point.
1 point.
That's how the scoring goes.
Well, so there we go. And rounds. Evelyn, sasa tuambie kula mtu KO, how to get that. So that this is a martial art. A contest can be called, not even before that round is done.
Yes. Actually, you can win a match by having KO. That is knockout. You can knock out an opponent technically. Maybe you've
and the term for it now in Taekwondo.
We say KO.
It's just KO. It's just a knockout, technical knockout.
So the knockouts, you could get a knockout even through a punch that is taken at a well angle, landing onto the right point, and you get a weak opponent. Maybe the opponent has been working on their weights, managing weight, kidogo amechoka. You hit a strong point, somebody can get out of gas and anaanguka. You could get a knockout by a straight kick onto the face. The back leg is always very strong, so when you come with all your force and you just strike on the face directly, an opponent can just get
dizzy.
Unaona tu giza. And most of the turning kicks also lead to knockouts, especially the spin kick. Taken from a right angle, it can just send you off the ring.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we'll be taking a little break, and when we come back, it's preparations for the World Championships in Azerbaijan and the African Games. The World Championships are in May, and the African Games are in August. They're going to be hosted by Ghana. That's the plan. And also, the kind of support that they will be getting from the Kenya National Sports Council, who are in charge of the African Games. We take a short break, and we come back with a conversation around Taekwondo. And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 23rd day of January, 2023. Having a sports conversation this morning, and we are with members of the national Taekwondo team. We've got the team manager, Nesmas Wesonga. He is to my far left, and the lady here in the middle is Everlyne Aluoch. She is actually a welterweight, Taekwondoin. That's a term that you use when referring to these athletes. And we've got Elijah Kimani, who's a welterweight Taekwondoin, and they all won their various divisions at the national trials, which were held at the Kenyatta University main campus on Saturday. And a conversation, they've taken us through it, and the kind of punches, and also this, by the way, very interesting, something I've been told about this. There is no difference between this part, maybe Elijah could help me with this, and this other one. But this one that is split, I've been told it makes training a little bit more exciting. Now, just hold it, and so that you could tell us why the split.
The split makes it more fun. It produces more sound. So when you
compared to this,
it will be just a tap. But for this, it will be double. It's a flap. So the sound is like just the ones we hear in movies. Yeah, it makes it more interesting, gives you more psych, more power to continue.
I think only martial arts movies have got their own original sound. Because it does, at times it doesn't go with what's happening. But let me just now come down to, the competitions and the support that you're having. In May, it's a World Championships in Azerbaijan. What's the qualification criteria for the world? Because we've seen, for example, at the Olympics, it's allocation slots. For example, I'll use karate, which was there. It was because they were in Japan, so they allowed karate, but they only allowed 80 karatekas in total. What's the criteria here for Taekwondo?
Thank you. Now, when it comes to the World Championships in Taekwondo, we do not have a cutoff system like the Olympics. Even the Olympics, we have a cutoff system. I'll explain shortly. In Taekwondo, basically what you need is the players must be black belts with the international certification. They must hold a GAL, that is a Global Athletic License. That is a system run by the World Taekwondo Federation called GSM system, that you have to be registered in that system to participate. And also all the officials must have a GOL, that is Global Officials License. And of course, now you make an appearance with the relevant fees, and that is it. And the weight category, you have to be in your specific weight category. That is how we go about it in the World Championship.
Okay, becoming a global athlete license, that means you're already in their system. And what about being an official? How do you then get that license?
Of course, there is a registration fee that is required to be paid. Right now, we are being charged 5,000 shillings, Kenyan money, and then officials.
$50.
Yes, $50, and then officials have got different categories of officials. We have got referees, so you need certification to qualify you to be an international referee by having gone through the seminars. You have got coaches. There are coaching seminars you need to have. For example, in coaching, you need to have level 3. There's level 3, level 2, and level 1 certification certified by the World Taekwondo Federation. You need to have that. And then there are technical officials for different capacities during tournaments. You need to have qualified and have the certification. Doctors, you need to have a doctor's certificate for you to be able to appear at the World Championship. And then, of course, there are now what we call MNAs, Member National Association. That is, you are certified by your country. You are representing the country in a certain capacity. Maybe, for example, now as a team manager, or president of the federation, or secretary general, or a representative of the government. All those fall under officials. Yes.
All right. Now let me come to you, Evelyn. Preparing for the World Championships. Ideally everyone would like to go to the African Championship, then the global stage. But this time around it's been flipped. Simply tell us your training plan for this.
Okay, thank you. I would admit that the global arena is not an easy one because everybody's training and everybody's dream is to get nothing but the best. So as a Kenyan athlete, it would be my first time actually getting to the global arena. Last the World Championship, but because of 1-2, the team was not able to attend. But we are hoping.
Main one is money, you know. That is the count of 1-2.
But we are praying and hoping that this time round funds be available, that the team goes. But before then, we are actually training, and even as I live here, I'm heading to training. We are working on our weak points, and we're just trying to make everything in order, that even when we get there, we don't go to tour, but come back with something. Yes.
Now, everyone, they won the medals, the African Games in August, and I'm sure with the competition, regional and outside there. Elijah, just tell us, how you want to build up to this, because May will be a big eye-opener for the national team, but then after that, you'll have 3 months before the African Games.
In the mtaani tunasema mapema ndio best. So, actually, we would like to thank the national team federation, the federation, because they have started early. We started January. I think we are the only team. I think we have selected the national team already. It's there. It's been booked for the All African Games. Something that will happen that is happening in August. We have started in January. I have big dreams. I want to dream big. Right now, I'm even looking at Paris 2024. I really want to be among the first male Kenyans to bring back a medal to
in
Kenya,
martial arts.
In martial arts through Taekwondo. So for preparations for the August Games, we have started early. We're kicking in for the camping. We're in the next 2 weeks, but before that we have been training. We are training. May will be a good platform to gauge ourselves. Like Evelyn has said, that it's actually a big platform. It will be first time for most of us to stand on that big arena. So we are expecting positive results. We've been encouraged. We're having even people coming to talk to us, because we need also to be prepared mentally and psychologically. We are also working on our weak points, but more so and mostly we're working on our strongholds, which is power. Africans, we are known for our own power. So nguvu tutaweka. So we will try and give it our best. And if we'll with pole progress, and we'll see good results.
Kano na ugali maarifa pia muhimu. Sio nguvu tu. Sawa. All right, so TM, I'll let you have the final word.
Yes.
Before we move on to the next conversation, the outlook for Taekwondo in Kenya. 150 athletes on Saturday. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
But what are the chances? Because it is simply known that most of the combat sports, they're domiciled within the disciplined forces, KDF, prisons, police. How do you get them now to normal dojos?
Beautiful. First and foremost, I wish to point out that the trajectory has changed. If you look at most of the national team players who have been selected, are actually civilians, not from the disciplined forces. I don't know, I don't want to say that the disciplined forces have been sleeping. I want to say that the civilians have improved. Yes, so the trajectory has changed. Now, going forward, we have lessons learned over the past years. And one of the lessons that we have learned was lack of exposures for our players. So you find that by the time we go to the international stage, they get stage fright. So on that line, we have got quite a number of activities that have been lined up for the year. In February, on 4th to 7th, we are lined up to go to Istanbul for the President's Cup, Istanbul, Turkey. On 24th to 26th, the team needs to be in Canada for the Canadian Open's Vancouver. Then we have the World Open qualification for Grand Prix that is going to be in March. This will be held in Guizhou, China. And then we have another world ranking event. This is going to be Bulgarian Open. That is going to be in Sofia, Bulgaria. Then on 4th to 5th of February, March, we have the US Open to be held in Las Vegas. We have, of course, the African Central Zone Championship that is also in March in Malibu, Equatorial Guinea. Then Austria Open to be held in Innsbruck. That is in April. Then that is enough build-up for the World Championship, okay, which now is going to be in Bangkok, Thailand. Then from there we come back, lessons learned from there. We come back, we prepare for the Grand Prix. Grand Prix. Grand Prix. Yes, in Roma, Italy. And then from there we have the second World Para Presidents. This is for Para. We also have the physically challenged championships. So we have the Para Games that we also participate in Polynesia. This is in French Polynesia. And then, of course, we have the African Championship now coming up and in October in Ghana. Then from there, we move on to Senegal for the Senegal Open. We move to Manchester for the World Grand Prix. And November, for our children, we have the World Children Championships that is in the United Kingdom. And we have the World Women Championship, Women Empowerment in Taekwondo, big time. Venue will be confirmed. And finally, we wind up in Wuzhou World Grand Prix finals, because Grand Prix is a series.
Yes.
So the finals will be in China again, Wuzhou. And of course, we have not forgotten the universities. So we have East African University Games in December 7th to 22nd, and World Team Championship again in China. So that is a host of tournaments that will help these players. And of course the others...
I was counting the number of stamps I would get on my passport if I was in that team.
Yes. And on that note, I really want to thank the Ministry of Sports. Every time we sit on these forums, we just keep on complaining, the government. I'm here to thank the government. Since 2019, we have serious support from the sports fund through the former minister, the CS Amina Mohammed, and I believe the current CS will continue the trajectory. We had a very wonderful session with him to come up with a blueprint for the next 5 years for sports. So we are good to go. Early preparation is the key. The only thing that I think I really need to point out, this does not affect Taekwondo only. It affects all the sports across the country. As we are talking today, the US Olympic team for 2028 is in camp, training for 2028.
You said it, mapema ndio best.
Yes, 2028. Funding, everything. In Kenya, our weak link now is lack of funding for training. These athletes are training, they have no income, there's nothing to support them. They natoka hapa naenda mjengo to survive. That is where our weak link is. And from where I sit, I believe that as a government, we need to come up with a system where national team players are employees of the government on a payroll, so that we don't have these small issues.
That one, we can have a conversation about that. But I'll tell you, make Kenya stop for a Grand Prix, and they will be on your payroll as the federation.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Nesmas Wesonga, team manager, Taekwondo Kenya, Evelyn Lodge. She's a middleweight Taekwondo in, and we've got the welterweight, Elijah Kimani. Thank you very much, lady and gentlemen. Yeah. Well, and you know, the mention about the number of stamps they're going to get on their passports. But Kenya is the #1 stop for the ladies' European tour. This is the European tour. It's golf, professional women. And we've got 4 Kenyan women who are going to be down at Vipingo in a fortnight. Let's get into that conversation with Kenya Golf Union Vice Chair, Philip Ochola, and a man you know better for his exploits in rally cars, Alastair Kavanagh. But this time round, moving at snail's pace on a golf course in Vipingo. He's the chairman of Vipingo Ridge, so he's going to be joining us in a short while.